Hi, and welcome to Cooking with the Gastronerd. So tonight my friend's having a dinner party and I thought I'd make one of her favorite desserts, tiramisu. Now, not only do I love to eat tiramisu as well, but I love making it because it always impresses whoever I make it for. But here's the secret. It's so easy to make. You don't even need to have a kitchen to make it. All you need is a refrigerator. So you can make it in your college dorm or your office, wherever. So to make tiramisu, you're going to need 6 whole eggs, some Marsala wine or Grand Marnier, a little bit of cocoa powder for dusting, about 2 cups of espresso, 1 pound of mascarpone cheese, a little over a cup of granulated sugar, and last but certainly not least, ladyfinger cookies. So to get started, we're going to separate those 6 whole eggs. Now there are different ways you can separate an egg, but I'm quite partial to just using my favorite tool, the hand. So just break the egg into a bowl and just go in, grab that yolk, and lift it out from the whites. And it'll naturally separate. Now I love this especially because I love the texture of yolks. It's kind of gooey like jello and it's so fun to play with. So I'm going to put my yolks over here and then my whites right into this bowl. So I've conveniently already separated the other 5. Just going to give my hands a quick rinse. So first I'm going to beat the egg whites. Now ideally if you have a stand mixer that's great, or a hand mixer, or you have to have a really strong arm and use a whisk. So I'm going to beat these till stiff peaks. So perfect, I just checked my egg whites. See, stiff, not moving, peak. You lift it up and it goes whoop, and it stays there, stiff peak. That's exactly what we want. Now for the yolks over here, I'm going to beat these by hand with my handy dandy whisk. Gotta have a whisk in the kitchen. So I'm going to beat these and I'm going to add about a little less than a cup of sugar to this. And mind you, you can always adjust this to your taste. You want really sweet tiramisu, put more sugar in. You don't want it so sweet, put less sugar in there. As I beat in the sugar, it'll kind of almost cook the egg yolk a bit and it's going to have this nice pale yellow color. It's exactly what we're looking for. And it'll have a little bit of a grainy texture to it. All right, perfect. Whoop. Now we're going to add one of my favorite ingredients, mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone is a fresh, very delicate and sweet Italian cheese, kind of like a cream cheese in texture, but the flavor is so much better and so much richer. You can eat this with anything, strawberries, it's very decadent, not low calorie, but delicious. So I'm going to add a pound in here. I'm going to slowly incorporate the mascarpone into all this delicious sugar and egg yolk decadence. Now, fun fact, tiramisu in Italian means pick me up. The tirare means to literally pull or pick. Mi is mi, su up, so pick me up. And legends have it, it was created outside of a brothel in Venice to give its nearby customers a little pick-me-up after a long, hard day of work. So think about that, all this delicious cream, this rich fattiness of it, and our espresso that we're gonna add, and a little booze from the Marsala. It really is quite a pick-me-up. I love that story. So you can see the egg yolks and the mascarpone are coming together very nicely. Just about incorporated. Now that it's nice and incorporated, you could have a little taste. Oh, so good. And what's not to love? Egg yolks, mascarpone, sugar. So now I'm gonna take this very rich substance and make it fluffy by adding our whipped egg whites. So when you're folding in egg whites, you're gonna lose a little bit of that initial volume. You're sort of like just in that first incorporation. You're just kind of gonna mix it in there, and you'll see you're not gonna be necessarily as delicate with the first addition, and then you're gonna slowly add in the rest. Oh yeah. That's why you gotta have a rubber spatula too. Oh, it's gonna be so lovely and light and airy. Kind of looks like a funny fro. So fluffy. So this is just about incorporated. You know, it's about maybe a little less than a minute to fully get everything in there. It's all one uniform color. You don't see the egg whites anymore. We can of course taste test, very necessary. Perfect, still rich and decadent, but now it has a nice airiness to it. So, now onto the espresso. Now you can ideally use freshly brewed espresso, but you can have instant espresso or really strong coffee also works. So here are about 2 cups, and I'm gonna add a little sugar for sweetness because espresso can be a little bit bitter. Let's taste. Yeah, a little more. So for this, you're gonna want your espresso to be hot, ideally, or at least warm, so the sugar mixes in a little easier. And then of course, for the fun part, booze. I am quite partial to Marsala. You can use Grand Marnier, whatever you like. Some people don't even put alcohol. So your call. You're not gonna get drunk on tiramisu though. At least I certainly have never heard of anyone doing that. So about a 1/4 cup, but you know, I'm just kind of eyeballing it till taste. To taste. I can taste the Marsala, but you don't want it to overwhelm the dish. Perfect. So now for assembly. One of my favorite things about tiramisu is you can put it in any container and it's automatically a serving dish. So because I'm going to my friend's house and I don't want to worry about bringing a dish home, I can just bring it in this to-go container. Of course, you can do it in a cuter little Pyrex too, whatever you prefer. So for assembly, I have my espresso here. I'm gonna start with making a layer of ladyfinger espresso cookies, and we're gonna lightly dip them into our espresso sugar and Marsala mixture. So just give it a little quick soak. These guys are gonna absorb it really fast, and they're gonna start to get really soft quickly. So you only need to do it very quickly, just a quick boop, boop, and that's it. And you know, depending on the size of your container, you can break these up, keep them whole, do whatever you like. So, and you can just sort of organize it however it fits best in the container. Ooh, it's gonna be so good. Now I'm gonna add the first layer of the mascarpone mixture right on top. And I'm just gonna kind of put a little and make sure it fully covers. So yeah, you wanna make sure it fully covers the cookies. Ooh. And like I said, if you have to constantly taste test, it's perfectly acceptable. Still good. So I'm gonna add my second layer. And depending on how big your dish is, you might have 2, you might have 3, you might have however many layers. So I added my second layer and final layer. This is just a shallow guy, so we're a 2-layer tiramisu. This is what it's supposed to look like, just nice and compact. Look, and I can just bring it anywhere. So for the last finishing touch is the cocoa powder. So one of these little sifters is great to have, very Martha Stewart-esque. So just give it a little dusting. You feel very elegant. Ooh, cocoa powder snow. Fun. And you can go as heavy or hardcore as you want. So most people think that there's actually chocolate inside the tiramisu, but this is the only chocolate. It's right on top. But if you are a chocolate lover, which confession, I actually am not. I like chocolate in moderation, but my mom is like addicted. It's a real problem. But if you are a chocolate lover, of course, you can incorporate cocoa into the batter, into the mascarpone. You could add chocolate chips if you want. You can have real fun with it and make it as chocolatey or not chocolatey as you like. So here we have it, our finished tiramisu. I know it'll be a pick-me-up. Now I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it sit for at least 6 hours because all this goodness has to really come together and marry to make flavor, to get the desired texture that you want. So at least 6 hours, ideally overnight. So that'll be fine for my dinner party tonight, but tomorrow it'll be even better. And because there are raw eggs, and remember, pasteurized eggs, you want to ideally consume this within 36 hours. So that's our tiramisu. We're going to check back in a little while and we're going to see how delicious it is. So I pulled the tiramisu out of the fridge. It's been over 6 hours, so we're good to go. So I have a nice little one that I can also enjoy at home too. So I took out a piece right here, a nice little corner piece. Let's see. Rich from the mascarpone. Has a nice coffee flavor, a little, can taste the marsala, it's not too strong, and of course you get a nice dusting of cocoa on top. Perfect, just how I like it. Now you can go and impress all of your friends with this incredibly easy dessert, tiramisu, and everyone gets a pick-me-up. Well, thanks for watching The Gastro Nerd. Stay tuned and more deliciousness to come.